Did Blake Lively's actions just cost Ryan Reynolds his career as Deadpool? A stunning turn of events has seen Marvel shockingly dismiss Reynolds from the franchise, and the prevailing rumor points directly to a series of controversies surrounding Lively, turning this into a Hollywood drama of epic proportions. Could this mirror the Amber Heard situation where public perception dramatically impacted career trajectory?
My dad was just of that generation where it's just like he was Clint Eastwood, and less is more. Simple grunts is how he communicated.
It's a plot twist few saw coming. How could a beloved A-lister, celebrated for his comedic timing and signature role, be suddenly ousted from a Marvel franchise? The story begins not on a Marvel set, but with whispers surrounding a new film project starring Blake Lively under the direction of a rising Hollywood talent known for heartfelt storytelling. This all brings memories of what happened to Amber Heard. Celebrated for her range and potential, eventually became better known for off-camera controversies and legal issues. Initially, Lively seemed the perfect fit, a poised professional entering a tailor-made creative environment. But as filming commenced, reports of disagreements between Lively and the director began to surface. Sources claimed Lively objected to script adjustments, press appearances, and the overall direction, suggesting the entire production was turning against her. At first, fans sympathized, believing Lively's concerns reflected broader issues of female representation on set. Then, the first wave of text messages, allegedly revealing Lively's perspective, surfaced. The messages appeared to place blame on the director, insinuating he manipulated media outlets to portray her negatively. The echoes of Amber Heard's claims of image manipulation were uncanny. The initial wave of support for Lively began to wane when a second set of leaked communications emerged, this time depicting Lively suggesting she had powerful dragons who could be brought in to influence production edits, publicity, and social media coverage. It was at this point that Ryan Reynolds' name began to surface in fan discussions about whether Ryan might be affected by the situation. His influence in Hollywood is considerable, and if the texts were genuine, Lively seemed unafraid to leverage every advantage to control her public image. Again, it was like what involved Amber Heard, a star initially seen as sympathetic, but whose narrative began to fracture in the face of more complete documentation. Marvel, known for its meticulous management of public perception, especially around its flagship characters, was taking notice. Even a hint of behind-the-scenes turmoil can prompt executives to reconsider casting choices. While Reynolds maintained a relatively neutral public stance, observers noticed subtle changes. A scaled-back presence at Lively's promotional events, and rumors of Marvel representatives becoming increasingly cautious. As the controversy gained momentum, parallels to the Amber Heard situation intensified. But for Lively, the narrative took a sharp turn when new messages directly contradicted her initial statements. What followed was the legal equivalent of a nuclear explosion. Lively's own attorney, known for representing A-list celebrities, withdrew from the case, implying doubts about the integrity of Lively's claims. In Hollywood, an attorney's departure speaks volumes, signaling a crisis beyond repair. Suddenly, all eyes were on Ryan Reynolds navigating a moral and professional minefield. His connection to Deadpool was considered integral to Marvel's expansion, yet the negative headlines surrounding his spouse began to overshadow everything. Marvel, notoriously risk-averse, was rumored to be extremely uneasy about proceeding with Reynolds at the helm. Fan forums lit up, questioning Reynolds' potential involvement in manipulating narratives. Had he shared his wife's alleged willingness to distort the truth? Before answers could surface, Marvel made its move. Ryan Reynolds was released from his Deadpool contract. The announcement, carefully worded, cited creative differences, but industry insiders knew the truth. In a chain reaction mirroring those connected to Amber Heard, Reynolds' once unshakable position vanished. Fans were outraged, some deeming the decision unfair, others believing Marvel had to protect its brand. Leaks continued to pour forth. Group messages allegedly involving Lively, Reynolds, and industry contacts indicated Reynolds expressed concern about managing the public fallout. Some interpreted this as an attempt to distance himself, others as tacit acknowledgement of the situation's potential damage. For fans, the heartbreak was real. Ryan Reynolds, the comedic gold standard, was losing the role they associated him with, and much of the blame was directed at Lively. Meanwhile, the director initially clashing with Lively offered a calm rebuttal, releasing extended transcripts and notes inviting third-party review. Even those initially believing Lively began to doubt her version of events. This all mirrors how those opposing Amber Heard presented extensive documentation. At the center of the debate was Blake's interpretation of postpartum remarks made on set. However, the director and other production staff refuted this with logs asking her about her comfort and whether she needed breaks. This confusion mirrored moments from Amber Heard's story, where a full transcripts of various interactions sometimes contradicted previous statements and left the public wondering which version to believe. Another incident gained traction. An executive producer had shown Blake a private video related to a sensitive personal experience, stating he had mentioned its content in advance. Blake, in her public statements, said she was blindsided and appalled. However, the producer insisted that Blake had agreed to view it beforehand. Of all the developments, the attorney's departure remained the most damaging. Hollywood insiders claim that when lawyers jump ship over credibility concerns, it signals a level of internal conflict from which recovery is difficult. For many, this was the tipping point, reminiscent of moments in the Amber Heard ordeal where revelations about incomplete evidence led to an irreversible shift in public opinion. From that moment, the controversy engulfed Reynolds-Marvel relationship, creating a sense of déjà vu for Hollywood observers. The familiar pattern, a celebrated star weaving an account that garners support, only to see it challenged by waves of contradictory evidence. The next stage, fan confusion, unfolded swiftly. Supporters hesitated, awaiting more leaks before choosing sides. The possibility of Reynolds' complicity heightened the tension. Marvel executives, seeing the potential for brand damage, acted decisively. Reynolds' reign as the wisecracking Deadpool ended, sealed by headlines connecting the dots back to Lively's disputed claims. Regardless of one's belief in Lively's version of events, the consequences are undeniable. Hollywood is reminded that a single controversy can topple even the most iconic roles, leaving all involved to navigate a future overshadowed by the revelations that ended a once promising endeavor.